What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about LeBron James's son, Bronny James, and this video that he posted. I think it was on like TikTok or some TikTok video. I'm not really familiar with that extremely, but that seems to be the new thing in social media with the younger folk and the younger generation, right? So he posted this video. And in the video, basically, he was just kind of like showing love to the women or the girls that he found to be attractive, right? And most of the girls that he was showing love to or whatever and expressing interest in were, light, bright, white, not even damn near white, pretty much on the opposite end of the skin tone spectrum or racial spectrum, however you want to put it, right? And some black women, took issues with that, you know, particularly the pick me segment of black women took issue with that. And not to say that other segments didn't take issues, because I think they did to a lesser extent, but the pick-me's, they were in full force and, just coming through and just like, I thought there would be at least one, dark-skinned chocolate sister up in there, at least one. Black King, why? Black King, why you ain't pick me? Oh, Black King, why won't you pick me? Please pick me, just pick me. Please, Black King, pick me. If you don't pick me, I'll just be a big old pygmy. Right? Just, very much coming off as like low-key desperate, you know? Um, you know, borderline pathetic, to be honest, right? And I don't think black women as a collective should be out here looking like that, because by and large, most black women aren't, sad, pathetic, desperate, you know. But when you have that mentality, that's kind of like what happens, though, right? And I'll say that, people across the board, you know, my personal opinion, everyone across the board has a right to have preferences, types, requirements, no matter if they do come from a fucked up place. Because ultimately, it's you, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that we can't, critique and have dialogue and, debates and do some critical thinking about where this all stems from and things like that. But ultimately, people's preferences, requirements, types are theirs. And, I don't think black women or any other group of people should be going on a campaign to try and basically get motherfuckers to like you. It's like life is too short. You ain't got time to do that. Because that's going to take a long time. And I'll say that you shouldn't, while there does need to be some like re-education when it comes to black people, especially black men, when it comes to, encouraging black men, especially younger black men, to date within the community and things like that. I don't think that it should be black women leading the charge on that. I think that black men should be leading the charge and black women should be helping. Um, because, this is the things that come up where it's like, oh, single mothers. Oh, single mothers will cause World War III, And it's like, okay, this is, when we need the black fathers to step up and, push in a pro-black woman agenda, you know. Um, since folks say that, fathers are important, and I agree with that, and that Um, that is something that needs to be pushed in the Black community more about Black fathers. And oh, we want to get rid of the whole, Black woman, strong, independent woman archetype and all that things. Well, this is part of the way that you get rid of it, you know. You know. And as far as I know, I haven't heard Bronny James Jr. I haven't heard Bronny bash Black women yet. Although he did come through when Black women were expressing disapproval in his who he found to be excuse me, who he found to be attractive, and he replied and said, "quote unquote, this is hilarious," and that's about as far as it went, you know. So Bronny, he just laughing about this shit. He like, he's unbothered pretty much. He likes what he likes. So, the ball's in Black women's court at this point, or Black girls, really. But really, though, I do find it a bit funny that Black women are shocked that, LeBron James's phenotypically Black son, Bronny, didn't show interest in his phenotypical Black female counterpart. I'm a little shocked that Black women are shocked by that. I'm shocked by that they're shocked. But it just goes to show that Black women. I don't know if Black women have been really paying attention, or if they've just been sweeping things under the rug, brushing it off their shoulders. I don't know, but why are you shocked about this though? Why is this a shock? You really think this is at this point in the game that we're in? You really think that this is a surprise? you know? And as well, I do think that worrying about a 15-year-old's dating preference can come off as slightly pedophilic and pathetic. But I will say that I think that the Black women who are, adults, well, I guess she's a woman, automatically adult. But, the Black girls, of course, them showing and expressing disapproval and things like that, it's somewhat expected, right? But when it comes to the Black women, I think that they are showing disapproval and disappointment more so, really. I think it's more so disappointment, because they kind of, maybe just hoping that he would just go on to be with, someone who is, Black woman who's undeniably phenotypically Black, and I think they were just disappointed by it. I'm sure there was a few pedophilic Black women up in the mix too. But I think it was more so just disappointment, like, damn, yet again, we're just, the Black women are just sent a message that, the young Black men to be aren't really seemingly checking for them, And, folks will come through and be like, oh, that's just one. And, don't concentrate on him. And, most Black people marry intraracially, right? Most Black people marry each other, right? Here is the statistics from 2002 showing that Black people marry Black people at a rate of 85%. Right? And, the thing is, though, that's marriage. Like right now, we're talking about more so dating right now. And as far as I know, I don't think people have stats when it comes to dating, because people don't really collect stats when it comes to dating, more so when it comes to marriage, right? They may collect stats when it comes to children being born, right? But, that's something that folks will come through with as well, right? Trying to just pretty much derail the conversation, and just be a wild ass ignig on the loose, just pretty much just trying to just avoid having you know, tougher, difficult conversations, right? But, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. All right. You know, and also to be fair, on the flip side, people kind of use these sort of things to shame black women into silence, about when it comes to dating preferences of black boys. And I think it's an issue for them, partially because these black boys will end up becoming black men. And some people will be like, oh, that's just a phase. They'll grow out of it. Probably not. The only way they'll probably grow out of it if they're probably kicked out of it, or perhaps come to some sort of like awakening, maybe, you know? But why does it have to come to that, right? Why does it have to come to like an awakening or a nigga wake up call for them to get it together? Why couldn't they just come to the plate with the shit together from jump? Why does it have to be some sort of a process? You know? Are black women having to go through a damn process? You know? Not nearly as much, right? Um, but what's more important is like for black women to think, like what can you do with a black man who doesn't like black women anyways? You can't really do much with that. For black women, you can't really do anything with that. You know, so at that point, that black man is worthless to you. So just go ahead and let Becky, Selena, and Chun Li take out your garbage for you. Go ahead and let them. Go on and just use Becky, Selena, and Chun Li as your garbage women. All right, as your maids. Go ahead and take this trash out, Becky. Go ahead. Selena, Chun Li. But yeah, I'm still shocked that black women thought that Bronny was gonna be singing, the blacker the berry and the sweeter the juice, the blacker the berry and the sweeter the juice, the blacker the berry and the sweeter the juice. And chocolate black wings are all I need. I'm really shocked that y'all thought he was gonna be singing that. I find that to be hilarious. That really is funny, right? But yeah, Bronny coming through saying, that damn lighter is better, wide is right. God damn it. The lighter the cherry, the sweeter the berry. And the lighter the cherry, the sweeter the berry. That's what he goddamn singing. And I think really at this point, it would be more shocking if these young dudes preferred and liked and pursued phenotypically black women exclusively or black girls exclusively or at all. That would be the shock. And, these dudes, they are in social settings and situations where they are probably surrounded by more non-black people than black people, right? And I know some people will come through and be like, that's an excuse. And it is. I do think it is valid. I do think that plays a factor into how people shape their preferences. Um, but that's partially where it may come from. Um, you know, um, Barack Obama's daughter, Malia, I believe her name is, she's been dating white guys, or at least a white guy, as well. So I do think that when it comes to situations like that, I think that environment does play a factor, right? Social situations, social settings play a factor, But you know what's up though, they'll come back to black when shit goes left and they get their nigga wake up call. They get their nigga wake up moment, right? they know who to come to when they need support. Notice that. Notice when shit goes down, when shit goes left, when the shit hits the fan, they know who to go to when they need support. They always come back to black. Right. Notice that. Right. And black, especially black women, you probably welcoming them back with open arms. Oh, Black King, come here, Black King, Black King. I'm sorry about that, Black King. Let me make it all better for my Black King. Let me take the pain away, Black King. Let me take away your pain. And Black King, don't run from my chocolate rain. Right. And I think that's something that black women kind of need to check amongst themselves as well, right? I know there was like this soccer player. This happened a while ago, but this soccer player was with like he's African and his wife or girlfriend at the time was African too, and he wound up getting on, I guess, moving to the UK or whatever, and he dumped his African woman for a white woman, had like 2 or 3 kids with the white woman. They were married, and then he wound up going broke, or either the white woman wound up stealing money from him, and then going broke because of that. One of those things. And then he wound up going right back to the African woman, and she took him back. And, motherfuckers will only do what motherfuckers are, what you let them do. She accepted it. So what can you say? And another thing, let's not talk about, the pandering that goes on too. At least, these niggas ain't out here pandering to you, right? But that's the thing though, the athletes, they don't really pander to black women. It's usually the black male actors, singers, rappers, more so, right? Because they kind of, black women make up a large part of their fan base, or could potentially make up a large part of their fan base, and very supportive and things like that. But when it comes to the athletes, they get their bread and butter not so much from black women, so they don't really pander to them like that, right? You may have one or two here or there. LeBron James has been accused of pandering. Some people think it's legit, some people don't think it's legit. Whatever, we can have a debate about that at one point or another. But yeah, notice that though. So at least he ain't out here pandering to you yet. When you need that support, then he'll come through pandering to your ass, right? And another thing also, I hope y'all ain't waiting on the black male collective to reprimand Bronny for his, preferences, types, requirements, who he finds attractive. I hope black women ain't waiting on black men to reprimand Bronny. I hope y'all ain't waiting on the black male collective to encourage him to like the chocolate sisters, the phenotypically black sisters, the black power sisters who they love to push out in the front lines and have them doing social justice work and all that shit, and goddamn doing the shit that them niggas supposed to be doing as men. I hope y'all ain't waiting for that, right? And I hope y'all ain't waiting for these niggas, including pro-black LeBron James, to do anything, because you will be waiting from infinity to beyond. All right? You're going to be waiting for a long time. That shit ain't going to happen. Not like that. You may have a couple of individual situations and shit popping off, but not as a collective. All right? Now, when it comes to black women and their preferences and types and requirements and regulating that shit, we all on the same page about that. We all know that we got to set that sister straight. White is not right. Lighter ain't better. Goddamn. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, goddamn it, when it comes to that shit. And as well, there'll be 1,001 excuses about why they ain't gonna be pushing Bronny and encouraging him to date phenotypically black chocolate sisters. All right. And not to say that, the chocolate sisters are a charity case, because by and large, they ain't, And that's another thing that, you got to be careful about too, kind of like low key presenting yourself as a charity case and making sure other people ain't treating you like a damn charity case, So it's not to say that, the chocolate sisters ain't popping, because we know that's not true. We know that they popping non-stopping. But, we just have to be careful about how you, basically being careful about looking like a charity case in so many, just to cut to the chase. Right? Right. But I also think that, I can imagine LeBron James, Bronny's father, I think he gonna be perhaps living vicariously through his son when it comes to the dating that his son gonna be doing. Because I think low-key LeBron James probably wanted to do it, be on the same shit too. But, for one reason or another, maybe his parents talk some sense to him. Maybe he know the game. Maybe he has a pro-black side to him. Perhaps, whatever. But he didn't do that, right? At least as like, the main chick. But the side chicks, though, that's another story, right? But yeah, LeBron James, he's probably going to be trying to live vicariously through his son at one point or another when it comes to who his son dating. He's going to be like, good job. That's my boy right there. Right? When he bringing home, goddamn Shamu Becky, goddamn Refrigerator Selena, SpongeBob Chun Li, that a boy. A chip off the old block, son. Right? And as well, you got to remember, LeBron James comes from Akron, Ohio, right now. Right. And Ohio, as far as I know, it's kind of like low-key swirl country when it comes to like black men. As far as I know, I could be mistaken. I don't live in Ohio, but I do have family in Ohio, and I have been to Ohio many a time. Right. Now I got a couple of stories about that. I know, like, like my dad's girlfriend, like her son dates pretty much exclusively white women, and he's like pretty much the same shade as she is, maybe a little lighter. He's like maybe like brown skin, and she's dark skin. But yeah, and she doesn't really like that. She was hoping, to have like a black daughter-in-law. She would definitely prefer her son to date black women, or at least include black women in that. But unfortunately, by and large, that is not the case. I think about as black as it ever got was maybe like a white passing, black woman, right? Then, I got some cousins on my extended family side, on my dad's side, very much swirl country. Yeah. And, they got a brown skinned mama and a light skinned daddy, and all of them niggas went on and got Becky. And a lot more, right? But I will say, like, my family, my more so immediate family, like as far as like my, uncles and things like that, and their kids, primarily majority of them are with, black women. You know, like one, he is in with a Japanese woman, Asian woman, and they're living in Japan. But I'll say like they're more so black female interested. But I just bring that up to say that pretty much LeBron James comes from Akron, Ohio, so it's not extremely far-fetched, right? But again, I don't really care like that, obviously. I just bring it up when it comes to these situations when we're talking about, community issues, swirling and colorism and things like that. At the end of the day, you can date whoever the fuck you want to date, as far as I'm concerned, as long as it's not a child, an animal, and it's consensual. Knock yourself out, all right? But we can still have, conversations about where that pathology comes from and things like that if we choose to, right? But yeah, black women in Ohio, they got it tough. Black women, woo-wee. But jumping back to a previous point that I brought up about, teaching black boys the beauty of, dark-skinned women, girls, and things like that. Gabrielle Union tried to show her stepsons the beauty of dark-skinned women. She got criticized for it. Insecure, bitter, jealous, desperate. Let them like who they want to like. As well as little to no support. And as well, black men are blaming Gabrielle Union for Dwayne Wade's son becoming their transgender daughter too. And I'm like, well, I thought black fathers were supposed to be in the mix as well. And like Gabrielle Union is a stepmom, and as well, she's not a single mom. Like she's not a single mom, she ain't a stepmom. Well, she's not a single mom, and she's a stepmom. Like, it's like very much across the board, really, but especially in the black community, like when it comes to parenting, a lot of weight is put on the woman. Almost to the point where it's nearly exclusively on the woman to make sure shit is right. Even if the father is right there in the home, right there in the mix, right next to the motherfuckers, it's like, look at what this black woman doing. As if, these niggas just don't got any sort of agency at all and any sort of influence, But that's another story. But, black men are coming through and just saying, just be happy that he likes girls, period, and isn't like Dwayne Wade's youngest son. And I'm like, is that, for black women particularly, is that supposed to be a win? Is that supposed to be a win? Like, what can you really do with that? You can't really do anything with that. So how is that a win? And as well, when black girls come through and decide to swirl, is that the argument? Well, just be happy she's in the men. They probably be hoping that she is bisexual. Probably bisexual, not so much gay, but probably bisexual they want her to be, right? So they can, engage in some, sexual perversion, right? Some homosexual sexual perversion type shit, right? But yeah, either way, black women can't do anything with that, though. Either way, though. But yeah, I think I've mentioned all that I have to say about that situation. Black women are continuing to be bothered, and black men are continuing to not be bothered about swirling. And as well, when it comes to swirling, the media does focus on black men and definitely hypes up those relationships. I haven't really seen a black female swirler's relationship get hyped up by the media. Not so much. That's something else too. And then they'd be like, oh, let's blame white supremacy. And I was like, yeah, but we got some internal issues we got to work on too, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I don't want to go on for too long, but thanks for watching, guys. And let me know what you think in the comment section about all this crazy stuff. And until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.